Hello everyone, my name is Chris Apulmay M. Daguman. I am student number 8, reporter number 8. Today, I will share to you a situation given to us by our self-instructional manual, week 4 to 5, that can be found on page 10 out of 28. So this is the situation. An inspector discovers faulty construction equipment and applies a violation tag, preventing its continued use. The inspector's supervisor, a construction manager, views the case as a minor infraction of safety regulation and orders the tag removed so the project will not be delayed. What should she do? So imagine you are an inspector, then you put a violation tag on an equipment na nakita nimo na ay problem or faulty. So you have to put a violation tag para dili siya magamit or maayos pa siya bago gamiton sa isa ka worker. But ang imong construction manager is nag-ingon na minor infraction of safety regulation lang siya. So tanggala sa ang tag para dili ma-delay ang project. So, kung ikaw nasa iyang sitwasyon, unsa imuhang himuon. So, daghan kay kag mahuna-hunaan na situations, like mag-mix na siya. So, daghan kay kag solution na maisip, pero daghan pog what if. So, what if sundon ako ang construction manager? What if dili na ko tanggalon ang tag? So, basig mag-away or unsa ba. So, while thinking about the solution, let's discuss what are these type of problems. So there are situations in which ethical reasons come into conflict or applications of moral values are unclear and it is difficult to justify what to be done. So like what I have said earlier, na ay mga katupre sa problem ganina na ay situation na medyo libog siya, conflict ang ethical reason o ang moral values, dili siya klaro. So, these scenarios are often termed as ethical dilemmas. Although we face many ethical and moral problems in our life, most of them come with relatively straightforward solutions. So, naay mga problems na masulbad ra pud siya dayon. So, if there is no ideal solution, as is often the case, we seek a satisfactory one, what Herbert Simon dubbed satisficing. So, kung naay mga problems na masulbad dayon, na po mga problems nga wala po kasulbaran. So, naaman siya solution, but dili siya the best na solution or di siya kaayo ideal. So, muna ang iyon is Herbert Simon dubbed na satisficing ug sa ato pa dawat-dawat na lang. So, dawaton na lang nato kung unsa tong option nga wala tay choice, kung unsa tong option na medyo better. So, every person may encounter an ethical dilemma in almost every aspect of their life, including personal, social, and professional. So, tanan man siguro ta naka-encounter og mga problems. So, I'm very sure pod na naka-encounter po taning mga ethical dilemma sa kadagan-dagan natong problems no na immune na ta. So, mo siya. So, there are steps in resolving ethical dilemmas. First step is the moral clarity. Identify the relevant moral values. So, in this step, we determine whether there is an ethical issue or a dilemma. Is there a conflict of values or rights or professional responsibilities? So, this is a guide question to answer this step. Next step is conceptual clarity. Be careful about key concepts. In this step, we identify the key values and principles involved. What meanings and limitations are typically attached to these competing values? So we will do it later. The third step is inform about the facts obtain relevant information. So in this step, we rank the values or ethical principles which in your professional judgment are most relevant to the issue or dilemma. So i-rank na itong mga options na nakita nato. So what reasons can you provide for prioritizing one competing value principle over another? So dira mahitabo itong mga comparison sa mga solutions nga atong nakita or sa mga options. The fourth step is informed about the topics. Consider all realistic options. So develop an action plan that is consistent with the ethical priorities that have been as central to the dilemma. Have you conferred with the clients and colleagues as appropriate about the potential risks and consequences of alternative courses of action? Can you support or justify your action plan with the values principles on which the plan is based? So in this step, you have to ask questions with your colleagues or sa mga professionals or sa mga friends about life problems or unsa nga mga problems or unsa nga mga informations na kailangan nimo. So nadira ato ginatawag na what our friends are for. Pwede ka mangita og tao na mag-advise kung unsa imong buhaton. So gather all the informations or realistic option to solve a dilemma. Number 5 is well-reasoned. Make a reasonable decision. Implement your plan, utilizing the most appropriate practiced skills and competencies. Arrive at a carefully reasoned judgment by weighing all the relevant moral reason and facts. Reflect on the outcome of this ethical decision-making process. So, diri na to imuhang final na decision or imong napili na option. So, balik ta sa problem in case nakalimot mo or lahi nga problem inyong nahuna-hunaan. This is the problem again. And let us solve this using the steps resolving the ethical dilemmas. Number 1, moral clarity. Identify the moral values. According ato kaganina, ang definition ato is determine an ethical issue or dilemma. So we'll determine it. Is there a conflict of values or rights or professional responsibilities? So the moral issues occurred in this case is, so ang problema manggod is yung supervisor that just selfishly ignored the faulty so that the project will not delayed. So i-ignore niya ang safety para lang dili ma-delay ang isa ka project. So mo to siya ang problem niya dito. The second one is conceptual clarity. Be clear about the key concepts. So the moral dilemma she suffered is either she should report the faulty to the higher administration and told them the consequences if it is ignored, or just follow the orders of her supervisor, removing the violation tag and continue the project. So kanina, ang step 2 is you have to identify the key values and principles involved. What meanings and limitations are typically attached to these competing values. So what are the values and principles involved? A moral dilemma she suffered is either she should report the faulty to the higher administration. So ang moral value dito is that concerned siya sa safety sa isa ka worker because ang mogamit ato na equipment is delikado siya if gamiton pa to niya kung mag-continue ang project. So wala siya mabuhat kung dili niya kaya sundon ang iyang supervisor, subong na lang jud siya sa higher administration. The second one is just follow the orders of her supervisor, removing the tag and continue the project. So following the orders of a supervisor is also a value, moral value, right? So, di ba, conflict kaayo. Tama man, medyo tama nga dili. So, libog pa siya. Number 3, inform about the facts, obtain relevant information. So, kini nga part, we gather ethical principle which in your professional judgment. So in making a judgment, the inspector should consider and think what will happen if she follows her supervisor's order. So kung i-follow niya ang supervisor's order, wala problema. Ang problema kay ang safety atong worker na mogamit sa equipment. Her supervisor is supposed to follow the safety. So mo dyan siya ang tama dapat. Her supervisor is supposed to follow the safety regulation and solve the problem before continuing the project. So kasi manggod, 'di ba, tung fundamental canons, they hold paramount the safety of the public. So it is a principle. Number 4, inform about the options. Consider our realistic options. So, tung nag-gather na niya nga mga options, dinangutanan na siya sa mga friends, muna niyang nag-gather na mga choices. So first, the option that is available are, she could just follow her supervisor's order without further action. So, follow the leader, follow na lang niya yung supervisor para walay gubot, no? Then, the second option is, discuss with her supervisor about the faulty occurred and urge him to consider again. So, kini iyang i-confront iyang supervisor nga ingon ana, gibasahan siguro niya si Ilos. So, i-urge niya og maayo nga i-consider ang iyang request nga butid to violation tag kay delikado jud siya pag gamiton sa isa ka worker. Then the last option niya is report the faulty to the higher administration and let them act. So kung i-report niya, maguba ang siguro mas madelay og samot, then maglalis lang po sila sa iyang supervisor dito kay dili proper ang pagka-report, dapat mo agisa sa iya ha before maadto sa higher administration siguro. So mo to siya. Fifth is well-reasoned. So make a reasonable decision. So sa kani nga tulo ka option, obvious man siguro asa ang the best nga way. So the option that is required is that the inspector should discuss again with her supervisor and apply the violation tag as required, thus it will satisfy the safety regulation and keeping her career. So, di ba natay katong principle tong tulugod kabok, katong naay communication, engagement, og integrity. Yes, kato siya. So, muna important kaayo ang communication is nakasolve na siya og problem jud. So, through communication, good communication skill, no, skill ni mo imong supervisor dito, ingnon jud mo nga delikado gyud pag gamiton tong equipment nga guba or basig ang safety man good sa worker ang gina point out sa isa ka inspector. So kailangan pug sundjud niya ang supervisor. The next one is the other option will possibly cost her to lose her job, as the first option false will be blamed on her if any accident. So mo pud ni siya kung dili niya ay kung sundon niya iyang supervisor man good, pag naay mahitabo sa worker nga nagamit ato equipment, siya ang pasanginlan kay siya man gyud naga-inspect. So siya ang i-blame pag naay mahitabo ato. So the best option na lang gyud is to discuss gyud ug maayo sa iyahang supervisor. The last option probably will make her supervisor report to higher administration where she reports the faulty without the right procedure. So kung ang last option is gi-report niya diretso sa higher sa higher administration, sing magreklamo po diyang supervisor, ingon ani, ingon ana. So, magubod. So, mauna to siya. So, thank you for listening, and ang reference is naa sa written report. Thank you so much.